Today I descend from the heavens to deliver you a message about the gospel of dewy skin. This video concept was heavily inspired by my good friend and big sister Nisa. Please follow her, otherwise you are not a true stan. Nisa made the gospel of lip gloss because she is truly the lip gloss queen, and I am queen of one thing, and it's dewy skin. So today I'm making the gospel of dewy skin according to me, Julia Mazzucato. Basically, I'm just going to be sharing with you guys all of my favorite products to achieve a very dewy complexion that looks amazing and flawless and beautiful and perfect. I think a lot of people think that dewiness starts and ends with your foundation that you choose, but that could not be further from the truth. The secret to really locking down a really great, long-lasting dewy complexion is a bunch of products that just work together really well. So in this video I have a lot of highlighters to share with you guys, some primers, foundations of course, setting sprays, powders, everything that works together to create a very beautiful glowing skin. Also, I am just now realizing that today would be a great opportunity to wear my dewy merch in a video, but those are actually in my closet at college because I wear them so often. So, missed opportunity number one. Great job.
I have the mind of a mastermind. What's that? I don't know, but
for me, becoming a dewy queen has come with a lot of learning just about makeup and learning what I like in general, and you guys know that I'm all about education. Whatever your craft or your subject, learning is a great thing. So that brings me to today's lovely sponsor, Skillshare! I'm so excited, I feel like a real YouTuber now. Skillshare is an online learning community where you can browse through a catalog of thousands of classes and feed your thirst for knowledge. If you're type A like me, or if you're just naturally curious, it's the place to be. It's super easy to find, join, and save classes that you really are interested in, and they can help you gain more knowledge on almost anything. Seriously, the breadth of classes that they offer is insane. I personally use Skillshare classes both as a supplementary tool for my own studies and just like on the side for fun because I love learning new things. Right now, one of the courses I just finished is actually about investing and stocks because I know nothing about that. Adulting. Good job.
Investing in stocks is a great way to make long-term profits.
Their courses range from short to long as well, so you can get anything from like 15 minutes to like 3 hours. Personally, my sweet spot is like 30 minutes to an hour. I love those. And I watch them on double speed, just like all my YouTube videos, so I get them done quick. I'm also taking classes on Skillshare about social psychology and cognition just to help me on my mental health journey, and I love every single class I've taken from them so far. Everything is super well done. And also very affordable. Skillshare is less than $10 a month, but through me, you can try it for free. And I seriously cannot recommend it enough. I would love for you guys to try it out for yourselves. You can use my link down below to get 2 months free on Skillshare. So I hope you guys try it out. It helps me out a lot, and I think you guys will love it. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video.
I think that is all I have to say. Full details of this makeup look should already be on Instagram. So without further ado, let's just do this. How many dad jokes can I make in this video? Starting with one. I think highlighter is generally the most achievable and easy way to go about getting a dewy look without having to commit to too many products. So even if you do have oilier skin and you want to go for a matte base, I think that highlighter in well-placed effect can really change the way that your skin looks. And you can still keep that very like heavy duty base while making it look a little bit more lifelike and luminous. For a more dewy glow, I generally think that cream to liquid highlighters look a lot more skin-like and just give you a little bit more of that glazed effect. But I do have a few powder and cream options just depending on what you want, and all of them give you that beautiful dew effect. My favorite liquid / cream highlighter in the entire known world is the Glossy Play Liquid Night Shine in the shade Pale Pearl, or like any shade. The formula is what matters for me. This shit slaps. You can kind of just like dot it onto your cheekbones, and I like to use my fingers to pat it in. But for liquid highlighter, this does not play around. It really creates this beautiful glow that just truly melts into your cheekbone. It looks like perfection on your skin. Hands down, this is my favorite thing that Glossier sells. I will repurchase this forever and ever. I want this on my cheekbones at my wedding. That's how much I love this highlighter. For most of these products, I will try and hunt down like a clip of me using them and just flash that on screen so you can see how they perform in action. But this is by far my favorite liquid to cream highlighter. Hi, Future Julia here. The Glossier Future Dew. Ugh. Beautiful. I didn't mention it in this video because I hadn't started testing it out yet, but I've been using this for the past 3 weeks. Transcendent. I'm in love with this. This is like the holy grail of dewy products for me. I think Glossier in general is just really good at perfecting that very natural looking dewy complexion, but this, game changer. I also really love the Patrick Ta Major Glow Highlighting Mist. I think they just came out with some new releases. Very excited to try this out because the brand seems to be very oriented around the dew. But this, I was very much expecting to be gimmicky. It kind of still is, but I kind of still love it, so yeah. And it is a little bit less user-friendly in that it's very hard to control where the highlighter goes. So I only really use this one when I know that I want my entire like side of my face to just be like covered in this beautiful glaze and glow. It is a spray, so you can't really control exactly where that highlighter is going to be focused. So I kind of just get this nice glow ring all the way around my orbital bone. I like that. I like that. It makes your skin look like it's wet. If you don't like that, you probably will not like this, but for me, I think this is beautiful. It just falls in this beautiful way on your cheekbone. It just sits different on your skin and really sinks in rather than sitting on top as like a stripe of metallic shine. If I'm not wearing like heavy base makeup, i.e. a foundation, I really love using the Becca Glow Glaze Stick. This will give you the most like wet looking beautiful sheen. It doesn't have any base tint. It's basically just like a wet kind of glaze stick. This will move around any kind of base products you have underneath it. So foundation, concealer, even if I'm wearing tinted moisturizer, this will kind of move around the coverage and you will be able to see that. So I love wearing this on bare skin, wet glazing look, because sometimes highlighter looks kind of weird on bare skin. This just looks like you have slightly damp skin and it's lovely. I really enjoy like highlighter drops a lot, either to mix into my foundation or just use on their own as a highlighter. I have the Cover FX Custom Enhancer drops in the shade Moonlight. Kind of look like liquid metal, but they can sheer out or be really, really blinding depending on what you want to do with them. And I think that's the versatility I really like having with the liquid highlighter, is just you can choose how far you want to go, and for me it's usually pretty far. But these are awesome and I'm perfectly happy with a mini because you need such a small amount to get a lot of glow. I don't think I'm going to need to buy full size anytime soon. There are a few like non-liquid cream highlighter options I really like having as well. ColourPop Super Shock highlighters, these are kind of a mix between a cream and a powder. They're a bit more of a bouncy powder texture, and Flexitarian, which is the best selling shade I believe, is beyond blinding. It's honestly kind of obnoxious, like so this can look like too much sometimes, but if I really focus it on the very top part of my cheekbone and just kind of buff it in circular motions, it becomes this beautiful wet looking, again, glaze on the cheekbone. This is pretty much the closest to like a glass skin wet looking highlighter they can get that is not cream or powder. And then very different, not really blinding at all, but it's still one of the only powder highlighters I have that really doesn't look like powder on the cheekbones. The Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. These are really lovely. They have a couple different shades. And this obviously, as you can tell by just like looking at it in the pan, is definitely more of a subtle glow. It translates that way on the face, just a very nice subtle soft sheen. But you can build this one up to be a nice like kind of medium blinding glow. It's never going to be like the ColourPop one that I just showed you guys. The reason I'm mentioning it in this category is because I feel like this one, even though it is a true powder highlighter, it's so subtle on the skin that it really does like melt into the skin. It doesn't look like a powder highlight sitting on top. Also, it's $5. Definitely by far one of the best highlighters you can get at the drugstore, so I love this. This one hits kind of different, the Fenty Beauty Diamond Bomb highlighter. I mentioned this as one of the best products in my 5 best and 5 worst for Fenty. This is a highlighter topper for me, not a highlighter on its own. So if I want to add a little bit more of like a dewy wet look to my highlighters, I just take this. It's kind of like a sheer composite of really nice silvery white glitter, which sounds really whack and not appealing, but when you apply it to your cheekbones, I just like to pat it on with a finger on top of what I'm already wearing. Just adds a little bit of extra dimension. Just pumps up any highlighter you're wearing from like, to like, Okay. Again, kind of like the ColourPop Flexitarian, this is one of those highlighters I really like to focus on a very, very specific point on the uppermost, like, prominent part of my cheekbone, rather than, like, glazing it all over my cheek. And just adding a little bit of extra dimension to the glow right there just brings out your cheekbone a little bit more and gives you that nice dewy effect. That's all makeup really is just playing with proportions, highlighting and contouring, shading in and bringing out different parts of your face to really change the overall effect and look of your face. It's really kind of meta if you think about it. We use like crusted pearls and colorful powder to change the shape of our face and how it looks to other people, and we love doing it and it's art. Yeah, makeup is really cool. A good primer really lays the base layer for any nice dewy skin look. I have 2 favorite dewy primers. The first one is the Becca First Light Priming Filter. Becca has a few different primers. I believe the Backlight Priming Filter, that one's more of like a liquid highlighter, and I know that's like a popular thing on Instagram to like cover your face in liquid highlighter and then cover it up with a very full coverage foundation. I hate that. Whereas this one, it doesn't like emphasize all the texture on your skin, which a more like liquid highlighter type thing would do if you put that on your skin. If you put that on as your like dewy base, when you do go ahead and go on top with foundation, I feel like this one you can still see a little bit of that nice glow peeking through, but it doesn't emphasize anything you don't want it to, and it doesn't look like gross and weird. Plus this has a very nice like lemon meringue scent. Becca definitely is more geared towards the glowy type complexions, but this is one of their best products. I also really enjoy the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Face Primer. It's kind of skincare infused, but you should never really rely on your like makeup products to do skincare stuff for you. Just let your skincare do its thing. If you can get added benefits, that's good too. I love this because it is almost aggressive with the amount of dew it has in it. However, also like the Becca one, I feel like this one, while it does luminize your skin, it doesn't emphasize every single crack and crevice and pore and piece of texture on your face. I just feel like this gives my skin a healthy amount of glow, so I look like I'm well hydrated, well rested, which I never really am. It is more on the expensive side, but this one worked with pretty much every foundation I've used it with, so very versatile primer. One of my ultimate favorite dewy cheek tricks is this mixing technique I've learned with my blushes. Glossier Cloud Paint, or pretty much any like liquid type blush like this where you can dispense it in a drop. Beautiful on its own, any cream or liquid blush will give you a little bit more of a luminous effect to your cheeks, but if you really want to pump it up to that next like juicy level, what I like to do is I take Cloud Paint. This one is the shade Storm. I really like this one for this purpose. Mix one part of this with one part of a lip gloss. I really like using the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fenty Glow for this. If you want to use something more affordable, I think ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lip in the shade Blowsy is also a really great option, but pretty much anything that has like a pink tint, a little bit of like shimmer throughout it, whether that's like gold flecks like this one, it's one part gloss with one part liquid blush, a little bit more of a denser stippling brush, just kind of pick it up off the back of your hand, and you get this beautiful glazed out, just alive looking cheek. And because it is mixed with a liquid blush, the gloss kind of dries down and doesn't make your cheeks all sticky and gross. Then you get this beautiful glossy, very natural looking shiny cheeks without it looking like you put straight up lip gloss on your face. And genius. Changed my life. Mind blown. Chef's kiss. You don't need to wear foundation in order to do a dewy skin look. Having a nice luminous foundation is my favorite thing, and obviously that is my favorite finish of foundations. It's like medium coverage on the more dewy luminous side, so I have quite a few to share with you guys. The first thing is something I use with pretty much everything to get a dewy look. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. It's kind of a confusing product because I don't really know what it is. It can be a liquid highlighter if you want it to be, but it can also be something you swipe on all over your face and then buff out as a foundation product. Basically, it has the tiniest amount of coverage. It can apply to the highest points of your face or all over, blend it in. It melts into your skin naturally because it has a little bit of a tint to it, but it just creates this beautiful, disgustingly youthful glow. It's such a unique product too. I think Milani has like a kind of dupe for it called the Soft Focus Glow or something. For me, this is one of the most like worth it products that Charlotte Tilbury makes. And if I had to pick like 5 gospel products within this video about gospel products, this would be in the top 5 by far. I have a lot of dewy foundations that I really do enjoy, but these are the best of the best in my opinion. The Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation, this is my favorite formula for my skin by far. I wear this one all the time. It's pretty much my daily wear at this point. Too Faced Born This Way foundation has a pretty similar formula, honestly. I think the Anastasia one does last a little bit longer on the skin, but they both look pretty much the same on the face. I wear 210N in the Anastasia and Almond in the Too Faced one. I'm wearing the Tarte Babazoo Concealer on my skin right now. This is a little bit more luminous than the Anastasia one, especially on first application. Almost a wet looking effect on the skin, but I love this. It's very, very hydrating, just glides under your skin, and it sits really well under powder as well, so if you want to powder it down, it still looks nice and dewy, but it will stay in place a little bit longer. And by far the most dewy foundation I've ever tried is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation. This is sometimes too much for me. It does not last long on the skin at all, so I only wear this one when I know that I'm not going to be out for more than like 4 hours, because after that it just kind of goes downhill for me. But it's beautiful while it lasts. I have a couple concealers that are a little bit more on the dewy side as well. YSL Touche Éclat is one of the most cult favorite products. It's not really a concealer in that it doesn't have a ton of coverage. So if you're expecting to use this one in like a similar way to Tarte Shape Tape, where you like swipe it on your under eyes and boom, no more dark circles, it doesn't really do that. What I find this does is it gives a tiny bit of coverage, but it really just wakes up the areas. Kind of just swipe this one on and blend it out. It's super, super easy to blend, just really melts into your skin. And it sits beautifully on the under eyes. I have noticed myself getting a little bit creasy on the under eyes over the past couple months, which is kind of freaking me out. Though throughout the day, sometimes I do get a little bit of a crease happening with my concealer. This one doesn't do that for me because it is such a lightweight formula and there's not a ton of coverage in there. It really just keeps the under eyes looking nice and fresh. The Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer is just like the foundation for me. Very nice and glowy, and it sits really beautifully on the skin. But this one is a little bit more on the full coverage side. Touche Éclat barely has any coverage. I'd say that's like a light coverage concealer. This, I would say, is like a medium to full. So if you want nice dewy skin but you do have things you need to cover up, I would recommend this one. The Glossier Stretch Concealer is also really great. This one's more of a thicker potted concealer, and honestly it's kind of weird when you blend it out, it has a kind of wet finish, so it looks shiny on the skin. And even though it has that thicker texture, I feel like it doesn't look thick and chunky on the skin, if that makes sense. This is really beautiful. I like this one more so all over my skin rather than on my under eyes. I always get a lot of questions about powder, like what powder is going to be best for doing a dewy complexion look. Honestly, no powder is best. I find that the best way to get a really nice dewy look is to completely forego setting powder and really just setting your under eyes, because that's the most necessary spot. But I do understand that for more oily skin types that won't really be a thing that you can do. So there are a few powders I really do like that still keep your skin looking nice and dewy, but will lock everything in place and keep everything locked down. The Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder is expansive, but it's so beautiful. I'm gonna apply a little right now actually. It is the most finely milled, just velvety smooth setting powder. This keeps even the most like wet looking, dewy looking foundations in place, even the most like wet looking, slippy foundations, but you can still see that glow coming through the powder. So I love that I can kind of take down that like tackiness to the skin. I don't like necessarily touching my face and then having transfer come up on my fingers, so this will take care of that, but it also keeps my skin feeling fresh and not too heavy. I think Glossier Water does a very similar effect for a lot less money. While I don't think that there's any direct dupes of the Hourglass powder, Water has a little bit of a tint to it as well. We have different color options for this, whereas the Hourglass one, it's pretty much just the white translucent powder. And while this one is a lot more expensive, you are getting a lot more product in here, so I don't think the cost breakdown in terms of the amount of product you're getting is necessarily a lot better for this. But for some people, I do get that it's more of like a how much money am I having to pay up front every time I refill a product. And I think Glossier is just more of a mid-range brand in general. Their prices are like not super high and not super low either. This is a $22 powder and it performs just like this almost $40 powder. Sometimes I wonder why I chose makeup as the thing I wanted to get into. Like, couldn't have chose like cross-stitching or something, knitting. Much less expensive. Also from Hourglass, I think that the ambient lighting pressed powders are just beautiful if you want to get that effect. So I have dim light, iridescent light, and diffused light. Pressed powders in general do tend to be more dense because they are pressed. I feel like pressed powders are usually more apparent on the skin than a loose powder. These ones are the opposite of that because they're so velvety smooth, I honestly cannot see them or feel them on the skin, but I can see the effect that these have. I love using these ones when I either want to set down my entire face, or if I've already used a loose powder on my entire face but I want to bring back a little bit of glow. These are just subtle enough where they're kind of like a highlighter. When you just glaze them all over your entire face, you get that little bit of luminous glow without it looking like you dusted a highlighter on your entire face. Setting spray, the final frontier. Honestly, one of my favorite steps when I apply my makeup every day is the last part where I just get to spray everything down and watch it all transform into an even more dewy state.
Stop it. Get some help.
If you're wanting a proper setting spray that's gonna like actually extend the longevity of your makeup while also making your skin dewy, I have two great options. The ABH Dewy Set Setting Spray. Very straightforward, melts down all the powders on your face and makes your skin nice and dewy looking, but setting spray I feel really helps to prolong the wear of your makeup. One of the only like high-end setting sprays I really think is worth it. If you want a more affordable option, Catrice has a really great one called the Illuminating Prime and Fine Dewy Glow Setting Spray. This one is not as fine of a mist, but it's still beautiful. Kind of similar effect to the Dewy Set. Melts all the powders down, makes your skin nice and dewy, but locks everything in place. These two mists are not setting sprays per se, but I do like using them as my finishing touch. The first one, I hate that I love this one as much as I do, but the Farsali Rose Gold Skin Mist, lovely. It's just packed with glycerin and really nice hydrating ingredients, and it makes your skin look beyond beautiful. It is more of like a luxury, unnecessary purchase, but I just love this one. So yeah. Along the same lines, the Innisfree Hydrating Mist with green tea. This is $7, so I feel a lot less bad about this. And this is very fun because it's an aerosol can, so kind of like that Morphe Prep and Set setting spray. This just kind of is a nice, easy thing to apply. Very nice fine mist, and it's not, again, gonna prolong the wear of your makeup, but it just helps to melt everything down and just freshen up your skin a lot. And then finally, I love a good glowy body oil. This has kind of been the year of people coming out with a lot of glowy body oils, especially at the beginning of summer. The one that I bought and I really enjoy is the Sol de Janeiro Goldie Rocks Glow Oil. This smells exactly like the Brazilian Boom Boom Cream that everyone is obsessed with. And while I cannot justify buying that Boom Boom Cream because it's basically just overpriced lotion, the glow oil I feel a little bit okay about just because it really does do something nice and pretty to your skin. I will actually use this one every day and feel not guilty about it. But yeah, I just like to glaze a little glow oil on my décolletage, the titties, and it just gives you a nice healthy glow. Not like you put body glitter on or anything, but when it catches the light and you just see that little sheen, it just makes you look healthy. Alright guys, that is it. The gospel, the Bible of dewy skin. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was extremely extra. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed down below and also follow me on Instagram to see makeup looks like this posted very dewily. And if you made it to the very end of this video, you dewy queens, you get the bonus moon. Love you. Bye.
because I hate doing shit and not perfecting it. Can you guys hear me good? Big boobs. What? Child. Anyway, so